Good morning. I'm Louise Stanton-Masten, Executive Director of the Washington Tourism Alliance, and it is my pleasure to welcome all of you here today for the 5th Annual Tourism Summit and Day in Olympia. I think it's important to recognize and thank all of you, our stakeholders and members who are here today and joining us for this important event. It's a great opportunity, too, to talk a little bit about the history of the WTA, and as you know, in its founding in 2011, we had 5 founding board members, and 4 of them have registered to be here today. And I think this is pretty significant. I want to call out those 4 founding board members who are here. Monique Trudnowski from the Adriatic Grill, Jane Kilburn from the Port of Seattle, Tom Norwalk from Visit Seattle, and Sandy Ward from the Future of Flight. Please give them a round of applause. Many of you are continuing members who recognize the value of the work that the WTA has done over the past several years and is undertaking to establish long-term sustainable funding. This year's summit is very exciting to our board and our staff because it's focused on the passage of our long-term funding legislation, which will put in place an industry assessment to fund our statewide tourism marketing program. And as our members and partners, you know that this has been the objective of the organization since its founding. We are now at a watershed moment, ready to get that legislation passed and to implement the collection and the distribution of the funds, but it requires all of you. And so on behalf of our WTA team, thank you. Give yourself a round of applause for your participation. I also want to mention the WTA hashtag, which you see up there, WTA Summit 2015. Tweet it throughout the day. We'll see how it trends. We've got our social media team tracking that, and I think we'll be able to see how well we show up in social media using that hashtag. Let's see now if we can advance. The work of the WTA and this summit would not happen without the support of our sponsors, and I take this opportunity to thank and recognize our WTA signature sponsors who you see up there, the Port of Seattle, who is also a founding member of the WTA, as you heard, the Boeing Company, the Spokane Public Facilities District, the Washington State Convention Center, Port Madison Enterprises, and the Squamish Clearwater Casino, and Visit Seattle. Thank you to our signature sponsors. And we have many members and organizations who have stepped up to help sponsor the summit this morning. Our presenting sponsors, Copacino and Fujikato, Snohomish County and Snohomish County Airport Payne Field, and our break sponsor, the Tulalip Resort Casino, and a number of event sponsors, Clark Nuber, Northwest Cable News, Northwest Travel Magazine, Mary Hill Winery, the Port of Olympia, Starbucks, Squaxin Island Tribe, the Washington State Wine Commission, and the Washington State Parks, and the City of Olympia. Thank you to them for the parking passes that we all got. I want to call out a special recognition at this time to the Red Lion Hotels as the host hotel for the summit and for their hosting of our 2 keynote speakers this morning, as well as our WTA board meeting yesterday. So please join me in thanking all of our sponsors and hosts for the event. We have a number of elected officials here today. Port Commissioner John Creighton. John has been a stalwart supporter of the WTA since its founding and brings with him the support of the Port of Seattle and the Commission, as well as our board member Jane and the team at the Port of Seattle. So Commissioner Creighton, thank you for being here. We also have two elected officials from Port Townsend, City Councilwoman Michelle Sandoval and Jefferson County Commissioner Kathleen Clare. So if those three would please stand and be recognized for your participation and support. And at this time, as one of our sponsors, it's my pleasure to invite up Chris Copacino to speak for just a moment as a sponsor of the summit. Chris, it's all yours.
Well, hello and good morning. I'm excited to be here. This is my first WTA summit, and so I'm looking forward to the panel and all the great speakers and insights we're going to hear today. My name is Chris Copacino. I'm the new business director at Copacino Fujikato. If anybody can spell that sight on scene, there's a $10 prize. Copacino Fujikato is an integrated brand communication agency located in Seattle. Over our 17 plus years in business, we've had the distinct pleasure of working with several strong Washington companies who are directly impacted by tourism, be it REI, Seattle Mariners, Seattle Aquarium, St. Michel Wine Estates, and most recently and directly Visit Seattle. Over our 3-year period of working with Visit Seattle, we were proud to help them drive record number of visitors to our fair city, as well as increase hotel occupancy rates to unprecedented levels, which we're really proud of. And we're proud of those successes. But one thing we've learned over our years in business is the importance of partnerships, because tourism affects so many different businesses. When we all work together, we all benefit, and it really is that principle of rising tide lifts all boats. One great example of this is, ironically, our partnership that we were able to forge with Brand USA. Over our time working on Visit Seattle, we worked with Brand USA very closely to help increase our presence and impact in the Canadian market. We did a fair amount of work to encourage Vancouver, BC residents to come to Seattle, and through the partnership with Brand USA, we were able to extend our campaign and increase our impact to highly successful results. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from Chris Thompson a little bit later today, the president and CEO of Brand USA, actually a little bit later this morning, just in a few minutes. As an accomplished travel and tourism marketer with an impressive resume, Visit Florida, and now as heading Brand USA, I'm sure Chris is going to provide some great insights for all of us as we look to drive growth for destination and tourism business in our great state. One final shameless plug, we have a table right outside. I hope that some of you can stop by and say hello to some of our representatives we have today, see some of our work, but most importantly, hopefully you can enter to win some great prizes from some of the clients we're so proud to represent. So put your name in the hat for some 14 Hands wine, some Seattle Mariners baseball tickets, and some WSU football memorabilia. Pause for Husky booze. There you go. So again, this is my first summit. I'm very excited to be here today. I'm very excited to hear some of the panel and gain some of the insights from the experts we have today. Thank you for coming, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you once again to all of our sponsors and host. The work of the WTA would not happen without the amazing, dedicated board of directors that we have and that I have the privilege to work with. You'll see the board of directors listed on the back of your program, including our fabulous executive committee and the entire board who works so hard on your behalf as members and stakeholders in the organization, and importantly, for tourism in Washington State. As I said, it's a real honor to get to work with this board of directors. This year, we are pleased to welcome 6 new board members to the WTA, and I will read their names off, ask them to stand so that you can recognize them, and then we'll ask all of the other board members to stand. So our new board members are Wendy Becker from Snohomish County, Mark Bareka from REI, Benish Brown from Travel Tacoma and Pierce County, Ron Peck from Tourism Walla Walla, Shiloh Shower from the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce, and Chris Watkins from the Tri-Cities Convention and Visitor Bureau. I know that a number of them are off at other meetings this morning, but if you are one of those 6, please stand so we can welcome you as a new WTA board member. And then if all of our board members would please stand so that our stakeholders see you and thank you for the work that you do on behalf of tourism. And of course, the summit requires a little bit of coordination, a little bit of planning, and a fabulous summit planning committee, chaired for the, I believe, 3rd year in a row by Christina Povarnik. And the other members of the Tourism Summit Planning Committee are shown on your program. I want to give a special shout out to George Sharp from the local Visitor Bureau for all of his effort and coordination at the local level and arranging those fabulous parking passes and being the host city. And again, thank you to the Red Lion Hotels for being the host hotel. So a round of applause for the Summit Planning Committee and all of the work that they have done. I also get to work with a great team. Diana Thibodeau and Mike Moe, who you saw out in the lobby, get the credit for much of the organization and coordination today. So I don't know if they're in the room or if they're still out there, but a special shout out to Mike and Diana for their work as well. And now it is my pleasure to bring up Cheryl Kilday, our Board of Directors Chair, who will be giving you a WTA update and state of the industry.
You can relax, I made it up the stairs. Good morning, I'm Cheryl Kilday, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of you today. As Louise has said, it's been a great run for us so far, and we've got a lot on our plate, so let's get started. My part of the program this morning is to look back at 2014. And so I chose a rearview mirror because we're on the road to success, and I want to make sure that we are checking all of our mirrors but keeping our focus forward. So we're just going to take a minute and look at what we've done in the last year. So through our partnership with the Through our partnership with the Washington Lodging Association, we produced 375,000 of our Visitor's Guide magazines, and those are distributed primarily by the Washington Lodging Association through Saugacita Media. Those are really important partners for us, and we couldn't do it without them. They have that publication, and it gets out there. But when they closed the tourism office, we didn't have money for postage, and that's one of those things that really, we've got a visitor's guide and we can't send it anywhere. People had to pay to receive it. But with the bridge funding, we were actually able to start distributing that with paid postage instead of asking them to pay for the cost. And so we've spent about $54,000 in 2014 on postage, which we honestly have celebrated greatly because it makes a huge difference. Who else charges for their visitor's guide? We want you to come see us, pay to come get us the guide. So we're really excited about that. We also contracted in this last year, and we're still using the services of a call center. And before, we didn't really have that service for about a year and a half. So we're really excited to have that service back into place, and it's open. People are getting great information from trained professional travel counselors, so that's a very exciting thing that we were able to add back in 2014. Our partners, you and others, joined together to go to the marketplace with us, and we actually had Washington Tourism Alliance presence at Go West Summit, IPW, International Powwow, the National Tour Association, and we partnered with the Port of Seattle and Visit Seattle for some of the international opportunities this last year, and that was really important, and the first time that we were really actively involved in that. Our e-newsletters and our website have become really great keys for us. You know, when you don't have a lot of money and you need to stay open, one of the best ways to do that is through digital marketing. So last year, in 9 months, we had our e-newsletters, we reached 365,000 plus people, and our click-through rate was amazing. We had 45% of an open rate, which is way above industry averages. That generated over 17,000 click-throughs to our partners who advertised in the e-newsletter, and that open rate was at 3.91%, which is really good as well. So it's helping create activity on our website. People are coming back, and they're really getting that information that they need about Washington and how to travel and enjoy your trip here. Miles is our partner with our digital marketing, and they're a great partner. Mike Moe sells the advertising on our website. We exceeded our expectations of the advertising, and the reason that we were able to do that is because it's working. There's results, and our advertisers are coming back and participating again, and so that's a huge success for us as well. The other thing that we did this last year that relates to our digital marketing is that Miles brought people to Washington, and they toured the state. They made 14 regional presentations about the American traveler. They shared market intelligence, research, and how to go back to your own business and make a digital plan that will be strategic and help you increase traffic to your destination, attractions, hotels, restaurants, whatever that might be. And so we really appreciate that partnership of them bringing that value to our state tourism professionals. It's all about the money, right? We want prosperity from tourism, and so we want to make sure that we're helping cash registers ring. So in our tracking of what our performance was in 2014, through our website and our digital campaigns, we had 154,000 referrals from our website, and traffic was up 26% in 2014 over 2013. And we had over 500,000 unique visitors, but very importantly, 1.7 million page views. And for a website that only has digital marketing, it doesn't have any advertising where we're saying, everybody go to the website. That's pretty amazing because it's from you helping keep the content fresh. It's from you participating in those e-newsletters that's helping drive that traffic. So thank you very much. Partnership, of course, is really important, and we have a membership that we call you partners because you're all part of this together with us. And we have 235 organizations and companies that are members with us and invested their dues into our programming. We had 20 new members this year, and I just want to pause and share, we have to keep this momentum going. It's every time, the study bill last year created a little bit of confusion for us because people thought we had arrived, that we were done, and we're wondering, do I still need to pay dues? Well, we don't have funding yet, so yes, we still need you to support through the dues because we've got bridge funding that we have to match, and so your dollars help become part of that match so that we can spend those state funds that they allocated for us, and those dollars only go through June 30th of this year. So we've got a whole new era that we're working toward as well. We had the 12 newsletters that we send out to help communicate with the industry. We've done a series of meetings around the state, and we did a survey to get your input about what you want to see in a marketing program as we transition from being advocacy and looking forward to where will be the programmatic component of a marketing strategy here for Washington. A huge success in Olympia last year was the study bill, and this really sets the framework that we're working from today with our legislation to get the Senate and House bills passed. The WTA marketing survey gives us a little bit of a chance to just look forward and share with you some of the feedback that you gave us, but some key components, excuse me, from the survey. You want us to concentrate primarily domestically, partner, and look at how we can do international strategic markets, promote the entire state, be inclusive, and make sure that we're leveraging our resources so that they're wisely spent. We asked you what were some of the icons in Washington, because we want to get a sense for you what you think of, and then we'll be able to incorporate that into some of our messaging. And we were able to see that the mountains and the lakes and the sound and all the scenic beauty that we love and take for granted probably most days are what you value. Also, icons like the Space Needle and Pike Place Market were mentioned in a pretty significant way. But when you look at the responses in the survey, it was all over the state, and there's so many treasures here that we're going to have our work cut out for us to make sure that we find the most compelling and best dramatic way to create that emotional connection and then relevant engagement to draw visitors to Washington. So we're at that point where we're here and we're ready for change, right? We were zeroed out in 2011, no tourism office. The Washington Tourism Alliance was created to make sure we kept the lights on, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that. But we're at that horizon where we're really going to have the opportunity to make a difference, and we've been building the momentum, and we need you to help carry that energy onto the Hill this afternoon. Some of the things that we're doing with you include the website, but it's an example of how we've all banded together. Our website has been one of those vehicles, and here there's just a couple of examples. On our website, we've got the U.S. Open coming to Washington. I hope you all know about that. And so we've got a place on our website that really gets people aware of that, and it's all on our homepage. We also, for the fires that we had this summer, and when we had the I-5 bridge, and then also when we had the mudslide, our website is delivering that communication to visitors. So that coordination is all part of that momentum, because you're all thinking about how you can use the website and make sure we've got those key messages going forward. So the key to our success from this point is the funding mechanism. So it really is about the dollars, and it is about how we get our message united and to the legislators today as we move forward. So we've got the opportunity to get riled up today and get ready. We want to get this into a rally. We want to really share with you what we could be doing if we had a sustainable funding mechanism here in Washington.